You do not need to wait to take action. Action creates clarity and reduces the power of your fear. You don't get confident from planning, you get confident from taking action. Welcome to the Your Next Move podcast, and I'm your host, Kimberly Brown. You are tuning into episode 101. Thanks again for all of the love on episode 100. I felt like I was half naked on the internet just a little bit, but it felt good to let folks behind the scenes just a little bit more than usual. Whether you're new or you've been with me since the beginning, I appreciate you deeply. This journey has been incredible. And today we're diving into a very popular mindset framework that is essential for anyone looking to make any type of transformation in their life. From everything I've been studying lately about personal transformation, there's a very common theme, a trap that we basically all fall into. But there's a truth that thinking keeps you stuck. I'm going to explain a little bit more. Today's conversation is about flipping your mindset and helping you achieve your goals faster and with less stress. So I invite you to go grab your coffee, your tea, water, and a notebook. Let's get into it. Today, I want to talk about the be, do, have model. This framework I want to share with you is something that I've learned about years ago. I actually heard about it on a podcast interview with Jim Rohn, but it's been used in coaching for decades. The be, do, have model is basically that in order to reach any goal, you have to be the person who achieves that goal by doing the things that you need to do, and then you will have what you desire. However, most people approach it in reverse. Once they have whatever it is that they want, they promise to start doing what they need to do so then they can be the most ideal version of themselves. So it sounds like this for most people. When I have more money, I'll do the things I want and then I'll be happy. Or once I have the confidence, I will do this presentation and then I'll be seen as a leader. When the model is reversed, you're making the have, whatever you want, a qualifier to take action to become the best version of yourself. So you're stuck in this toxic waiting pattern. If you're like me, you may not be new to this concept and it may make perfect sense, but you may be left with the question, how do you be something that you don't feel like you're ready for right now? And that's what we are about to talk about today. So, why is this model so important? Your identity drives your actions. And if you believe you're not ready, your actions will reflect that hesitation and you'll get lukewarm results. And nobody wants lukewarm results. I know you don't want that. Hell, I don't want that for myself and I don't want it for you either. In the last episode in the podcast, I broke down my transformation roadmap that is equal parts personal and professional. And one of the biggest pieces that I have to work on is my mindset. I'm someone who, from the outside looking in, may appear to be really confident. And what I've realized about myself is that I 100% reversed the be do have model. And it's been wreaking havoc slowly but surely on my ability to reach my bigger goals. So let me give you an actual example. In a recent meeting with a local personal stylist, yes, y'all, I'm talking to a new personal stylist because we about to level it up here. We're about to level up. I mentioned that I was tired of stepping into the Kimberly Brown that I am on stage. As someone who speaks at corporations and conferences for a living, I've been in front of audiences of 3 to 5 people, and I've also been in audiences of over 3,500 people. And I don't walk into rooms with the confidence of a speaker who commands a multi five figure speaking fee, unless I'm in a room where I've already charged that amount and the invoice has been approved for payment. I play small. I sit back in the room. I find ways to not take up space and I act like I ain't been no place before. And it's only when I'm paid that I walk and talk the part. And this isn't about being humble or not taking the shine away from someone else in the space. It's about how I view myself. And I believe it's important to channel your inner it girl energy in whatever room you're in. Because if you've decided to be there, it is time for you to show up. For you, this may be when you walk into a meeting that you're leading at work, but you don't take a seat at the head of the table. Y'all, this drives me crazy. Instead, you show up right at the beginning of the meeting, and right when it's about to start, you squeeze a chair in where you can, or worse, you're not even at the main table. You're at the chairs along the wall, and you end up speaking from the corner of the room. Or maybe in your personal life, you've invested in the best gym membership. You've taken a bunch of courses online to improve your health, but you just can't get yourself to get to the gym multiple times a week, prep your food, stretch before bedtime, but you have this reoccurring dream. And I close my eyes and I invite you to close your eyes too. If you can see when you are fit and fine and you're naturally doing all the things, whatever that dream is, sometimes we can see it. So this brings me back to my main question. How do you allow yourself to be the ideal version of yourself now? I've taken some time to reflect on what I share with clients when I give them pep talks on confidence and all of my recent reading on mindset shifts. And I want to share a framework that I'm developing formally with you. I'm calling it the courage driven mindset framework because when we are called to be something that we feel like we have never done before, it takes courage. So here we go. And if you don't have a pen and paper, this is where you may want to grab a pen and paper. And also, please know, as much as I'm sharing this with you, I'm also coaching myself on this right now, too. One of my goals is to be more transparent, a little less polished, and allow the content I create online to be in progress. So, this is me sharing, and I hope to hear your honest feedback. And I'll also be sharing my own updates and changes and evolutions along the way. So, step one is recognize. The first thing that happens when we feel like we have to step into something that we haven't done before or we haven't been before is fear. What if it works out? What if I embarrass myself? What if someone calls me out? What if I'm a fraud? What if I make a mistake in public? We are fearful, and that is absolutely normal. But I want you to start processing the fear a little bit differently. Fear is often a signal that you're stepping outside of your comfort zone, which is what you need to do to be something you have never been, so you can do things you have never done, so you can ultimately have things you've never had. You have to get uncomfortable. So I want you to recognize the fear and affirm that fear is data, it is not danger. I'm going to say that again. Fear is data, not danger. And then I want you to ask yourself two questions. What is this fear protecting me from? And what is this fear pointing me towards? If the answers align with who you need to become and not just your deepest, darkest, shame filled fears, that brings us immediately to step two, which is reframe. Most people in the midst of a transformation who haven't focused on their mindset will misinterpret fear as a massive stop sign instead of a green light. Instead of asking yourself, should I pursue this new thing? Could I be ready to do this? I want you to reframe your thoughts and ask yourself, how can I? No more shoulds, no more coulds. And then define what you need to start taking action. It is so easy to live in analysis paralysis, focusing on what you should do versus getting clear on what you need to do to start taking action immediately. When I'm working one on one with a client, this is also where I start asking them to track their wins. I need to help them affirm that they have everything they need to thrive right now. And we do that by making a win list. All of the wins that they have already accomplished are tangible proof that they are ready right now. And I've done this in my business multiple times because there are days when I feel like I'm wildly far from where I thought I'd be in business. I founded Manifest Yourself, now Brown Leadership, in 2017, but I didn't leave my full time job until May 2021. So it will be 4 full years of entrepreneurship this May 2025. It's a milestone year, clearly. 100 podcast episodes, 4 years of entrepreneurship. It's a thing. When I'm in the grind of building my company, it's hard to step back and reflect on everything I've accomplished. So I have a win list that reminds me of what I've done and how that's the foundation I'm standing on to continue to reach my goals. A new goal does not mean that you are starting from scratch at all. A new goal is just a new opportunity. You are standing on the foundation of everything you have already built. And last but not least, that moves us to step three, which is respond. Baby, it is time to move it. Move it, move it, move it. You do not need to wait to take action. Action creates clarity and reduces the power of your fear. You don't get confident from planning, you get confident from taking action. And step two, you had to determine how you can take action. And I know you had an answer. I know you had an answer. You know what needs to be done. Maybe you need to read a book that you probably already have on your bookshelf on the topic. Maybe you need to reach out to a mentor for help, or maybe you need to start small and tell someone what you're working on. It doesn't matter how big or small the action is, you need to move it and do something. The doing will help you shift into being the person who accomplishes their goals. For me right now, even when I'm kicking and screaming and would rather be curled up on the couch with my partner, I'm forcing myself to commit to specific, consistent activities for my health, my mindset, and my business. Why? Because the Kimberly that I see in my mind with her dreams actualized would be doing it without hesitation. She leans on her preparation and her commitments, not her feelings. So, to recap, if you're listening to this episode and understand the be do have model, but have always felt stuck like me on the how of being the person who achieves your goals, we have the 3 steps for you. Recognize, let's call a thing a thing. What is this fear? Reframe. How are we reframing it? Getting away from the shoulds and focusing on what we can do, the actions we can take. And last but not least, respond. We are moving it. I want you to lean on being courageous, not fearless, because the fear isn't going away. It's not. We want it to go away, but it's not. Fear is natural. We just need to make sure that the intensity of the fear isn't rising to a level that prevents you from moving forward. So, in every episode, we have to focus on what is our next move. So, how are you going to apply the be, do, have model to your goals and make this practical? So, this is where I want you to start. Number one, I want you to identify that goal that you've been putting off and be honest because what's the thing that you've delayed? What are the things that you're waiting for those circumstances to be perfect? And ask yourself, who do I need to be to accomplish this goal? If your goal is to get healthier, maybe you need to be someone who values their body and treats it in the way that it needs to be treated so you can move freely and feel lighter. Maybe you want a new job. So you need to be someone who believes in their worth and advocates for themselves. Pick one action from that identity. So, what is one action that person with your goals actualized would take? And every single small step matters. If you are someone who values learning, you might sign up for a webinar today. And then I want you to commit to consistency. The be do have model isn't about a single moment, it's about your daily choices that reflect your future self. And I want you to hold yourself accountable too. So I'm going to invite you to DM me at Kimberly Be Online and let me know how it goes. I love hearing your stories. If you don't want to DM, you could also email me at podcast@brownleadership.com. Let me know after you listen to this episode, what are you committing to? What is that one small thing you are going to do, that first action you are going to take to actively fight whatever you've been fearful of so you can get closer to your goal, to your own transformation? So, last but not least, I'm really enjoying this new segment, something I'm doing that works. It is my new favorite thing to share with you. And every week when I'm recording, I think about new things that I'm trying. So, something I'm doing that works, I'm starting a Substack. Yes, indeed. So that I can have an unstructured outlet to share things that I'm loving, things I'm doing, and just write freely. I've been craving the energy I had back in 2011 when I was excited to blog 4 to 5 times a week. I was able to write about anything and everything that came to mind. But somewhere along the way, I lost that excitement and I felt like there was a right way to show up. And I've decided to opt out of that and blog on Substack. I'll add a link to the show notes in case you're curious, but this is going to be a space to talk about whatever it is I want to talk about. And I'm telling you right now, it's probably not going to be a lot of career and leadership content from me either. It's going to just be me. If people read it, great. If people don't read, that's fine too. But it's going to be a public space that I'm allowing people into so that I can be creative and also just allow you to get to know me in a different setting. I've been struggling to share video content on social media and even this podcast, y'all. It is a lot of pressure to show up on camera sometimes. It is a lot. I procrastinate every single time I have to record. So I'm just putting that out there. We may make it an audio podcast again, but we're going to see. But regardless, I hope that y'all will head on over to Substack. By the time this episode drops, I'll have at least one post up there, maybe more. And again, it's unstructured. I'm going to write when I want to write, not write when I don't want to. And I'm going to write about anything that comes to mind, whether it's skincare, food, things I've tried, things I'm struggling with, all of it. It's going to be a safe place for me to be creative. So, my final thoughts today, as we come to a close, I need you to know something. The success you're chasing is already within you. It's just waiting for you to embody it. One of my favorite affirmations is you have everything you need to thrive. I'm going to say it again. And I want you to affirm it. Say it to yourself with me. You have everything you need to thrive. I have everything I need to thrive. Remember that you have to be the person, do the work, and then you get to have the results. As always, thank you for tuning into the Your Next Move podcast. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with a friend or leave a review wherever you are listening or watching. Your support means the absolute world to me. And as always, may your next move be your very best move. See you soon.